The college basketball season has began, the NBA season has began, and there's definitely been a lot of things to note. ESPN dropped a new mock draft, and I will be dropping a new mock draft as well in the upcoming days. Fanspo just updated their website to have the 2026 class, so we have that. Shout out Jeremy Wu. Obviously, their main guy is Jonathan Gavoni, but make sure to like and subscribe. Go into the description, submit your video ideas, and let's see what the biggest sports platform on planet Earth is projecting the first round of the 2026 NBA draft. Starting off with number one, it's going to be the next taking Darren Peterson. I think at this point, I have to agree. I still think it's Cam Boozer number two. Or, I mean, I would even make the argument for him number one because he is my preseason number one prospect. But in the small sample size we've seen from Darren Peterson, he just looks pro-ready. The shots that he's able, or even the shots that he's able to get to at the college level. We knew he was going to have a load on his back this year with Kansas because they don't really have the talent as before. But he's fitting everything he was supposed to do to the T. He's been amazing. I think right now I probably would have him as my number one prospect in this draft. Nets, this is a franchise cornerstone type of player right here. You're going to be set for the future. At 2, we have the Wizards taking AJ Dybantsa. This would be a case where I would have them take Cam Boozer over Dybantsa because I really love the potential future of having Boozer at the 4 and Alex Sarr at the 5. But you can't undervalue this stuff and the talent that AJ Dybantsa brings to the floor. He's another freshman that's looked really good this year for BYU. But if we're talking NBA adaptability adjustments, who I think is going to be better, especially for a team that kind of needs a player like Cam Boozer right now, I would take Cam Boozer over AJ Dybantsa. Right now, for me, it is 1A, 1B with Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer. AJ Dybantsa's number, I guess, 2 in this case because I have 2 1s. But in my opinion, I don't think he is on that exact level of tier as Boozer and Dybantsa. That's probably going to change over the season. We have a lot of the year left to go. But NBA prospect-wise, I just like those two over him. I don't know. But Dybantsa at 2 to the Wizards. Obviously, if you end up with AJ, you're in great hands. 3 is going to be Boozer to the Utah Jazz. This is a cool pick. I mean, just looking at the numbers he's putting up so far this season is insane. But yeah, when I think about the Jazz, they're kind of in a limbo situation right now because they haven't moved on from Larry Markkinen. They haven't moved on from Walker Kessler. So they're still trying to figure out what stays and what goes for their full-on rebuilds. Markkinen has looked absolutely elite so far this year, and I love if there was some contender out there that would trade for him because he could be a second or even third option on a championship team. The stuff he's doing with the Jazz right now is insane. Insane. But also, Walker Kessler could also be on the move as well. Boozer, he brings some more forward depth to the Utah Jazz. If we are moving on from guys like Kessler and Markkinen, Boozer can come in and kind of fill those minutes right away. I like this at 3 for the Utah Jazz. This honestly would, I mean, not honestly, this would get an A+ if I graded it, because I think Boozer should be higher than the 3rd overall pick in this draft. At 4, we have the Pacers getting Nate Ament from Tennessee. So far this year, 20 points, 8.7 rebounds. I don't know if he's averaging, because I think this is like 3 days ago or 4 days ago. I don't know if he's still at 20 points per game. But for the Pacers specifically, I think at 4, I really love the idea of getting a Caleb Wilson. Because if they're not in the top 3, obviously they're going to either end up with Peterson, Boozer, or Dybantsa. But if they don't end up there, my favorite prospects could be Caleb Wilson out of North Carolina for them at number 4. Caleb Wilson, I think, leads the nation in dunks right now. His athleticism has been insane to watch so far this season for the Tar Heels. I like him more as a prospect right now than Nate Ament. I know I did have Ament over him in my preseason mock draft, but what I've seen so far from Caleb Wilson, he's going to be probably a top 5 or 6 guy in my big board when I show you guys my new 2026 NBA mock draft. Ament, I don't mind. I still think he's really raw. I still think, I mean, he's coming pretty solid shooting the basketball, but I still think there's stuff he could add to his game. Also, I think he probably has to put on some more muscle as well. He has a slim frame. I think he'll be a lottery pick. I still am very high in Nate Ament, but for a Pacers team who kind of is looking to reload next year with Halliburton, with Pascal Siakam, I like Caleb Wilson a lot more than maybe more of a raw guy like Nate Ament. At 5, we're going to have C-Dub go to the Atlanta Hawks. This is an amazing pick. If the Hawks end up with Caleb Wilson, I mean, just looking at his numbers, obviously they're not too off from what Nate Ament does, but obviously very different players. Caleb Wilson is 6'10". Honestly, I mean, if we're saying he can't play that center position, maybe he even is a better fit for the Indiana Pacers. But he's been elite so far this season. One of the best defensive players in college basketball. Him moving offensively has been surprising to me because I didn't think his offensive output was going to be as big as it is right now. C-Dub's been great. North Carolina has found good talent in Caleb Wilson. I think 5 for the Hawks. Let's see, adding to what they have right now in Jalen Johnson, probably at the 3, putting him at the 4, and then I guess Okongwu has been really good as recent. Maybe put Okongwu at the 5. Maybe that's something you continue to build around Trae Young. I think this is a good pick for them at 5. 6, we're going to have Mikael Brown Jr. to the Sacramento Kings. I talked about this before. This is one of my favorite fits, I think, in this draft class because we're most likely moving on from Russell Westbrook after this season. We're most likely going to look to move on from Zach LaVine after the season. I think a lot of guard, even Dennis Schroeder as well, I think a lot of guard minutes is going to open up because a couple years ago, Devin Carter, that pick has not worked out at all. So guard minutes are going to open up. Mikael Brown Jr. is going to come in for this Kings team, probably run mainly the point. So we can see him as a lead guard in this league. Mikael Brown Jr. preseason was the number 4 prospect for me. Still very high on him. Still very high on Louisville as well. I think they have the best backcourt in the nation. Yes, 6 to the Kings. Great pick. At 7, it's going to be Chris Sinak Jr. to the Charlotte Hornets. Gives him a lot more versatility there in the front court. We know Sinak Jr., even at his size, is one of the best offensive fluid moving players we have in this draft class. The jumper has looked solid. They're saying he's flashing comfort with his jumper. I do agree with that. But what he's able to do, getting downhill, finishing through contact, as not really a pure center, being a power forward who can move really, is what's going to entice me for the 2026 draft. Would love to see him probably improve his pure inside game. We really haven't seen him really play a true traditional college big, and when he gets to the league, play a true traditional league big. So I want to see how he fares against that. But as his size with his skill set is, there's no argument that really has him outside the lottery in this draft class. I think his teammate too and Kingston Flemings will be around this area as well. At 8, we're going to have Koa Pete out of Arizona. Pete, another freshman who started the season amazingly. I think there's also an argument that could have him potentially as a top 4 prospect, but to the Dallas Mavericks, who honestly have extended some of their guys in Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, so I guess this pick doesn't look as good. But if we're looking to get younger in the front court, Cole Pete does exactly that. Elite so far for the Wildcats. Jaden Quintance at number 9. Hasn't played yet this year. Averaged 9.4 points, 7.9 rebounds. Last year as a 17-year-old freshman for Arizona State. I still don't have him this high because I haven't seen him play yet this year. But I think as a traditional actual big in this draft class who's an extremely amazing shot blocker, who's a great roller as well. Just his defensive presence inside the paint is probably enough for him to be a lottery pick. I like him in the first round. I don't know if I like him this high, but I do like him in the first round. Obviously, if he shows his game improvement, of course, in this season, if he comes back from his ACL injury, then you can make the argument for him top 10. Dame Sarr, 10 to the Thunder. This is a stupid, silly, nasty pick. I mean, in the best way possible. Dame Sarr is an elite prospect, in my opinion. I think adding his length to his offensive fluidity and his defensive upside, you have yourself a near perfect role player prospect, and that's exactly what the Thunder are looking to do. They're going to keep their main guys paid. And Shea, and Chet, and J-Dub, those guys are going to continue to get paid. What you can't do if you have those 3 guys on maximum contracts, though, is to pay your role players big money. So they're going to have to get younger. They're going to have to get cheaper deals. And that's exactly what Dame Sarr is going to bring them. He has elite potential to be a great role player in the NBA. Honestly, I don't see how he doesn't hit it with all his intangibles. At 11, we're going to have Kareem Lopez go to the Memphis Grizzlies. So in this draft class, they end up with Jaden Quintance and Kareem Lopez really boosting that front court up a lot. Lopez, one of the best defenders in this draft class, also a really solid catch and shooter as well. I do expect him in the first round. Hasn't really shown the production, I guess, because he's been on a professional team. But I still have him as a first round guy. I think the Grizzlies, maybe I don't love the prospects they got at 9 and 11 too much because, those don't really feel like guys that can really raise your ceiling. But honestly, I don't mind it. I think this is a good pick at 11. Neoklis Abdalas to the Blazers at 12. This is an interesting pick because I'm not saying his game is like Denny Abdia, But I think his impact at the NBA level could be like Denny Avdia. He's a bigger body. I think he's 6'7", 6'8". Yep, 6'8". But his playmaking, like Denny, has been elite so far. And I think he's going to come into the league and be an elite playmaker so far as well because he has the size. But his shot creation as a freshman, we know his past as a professional player in Europe, but his shot selection already has been insane to watch. Insane to watch. He's going to be a first rounder. I probably have him higher than 12 at this point. He's just been so insanely surprising. Right out the gate, being as elite as he is. Not much I can say about Neoclis Abdalas. First rounder, locked. 13, we have the Bulls taking Braylon Mullins. Another player like Quintanz who hasn't played yet this season because of injury. But we know what we're going to get in him. He's going to be a great catch and shoot guy. They're giving Kevin Huerter real minutes right now. I'm guessing that probably fades out once they bring Braylon Mullins into the fold. 14 is Darius Akup Jr. 2, the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a team that's really lacking point guard right now. You lose Damian Lillard. Now we're focusing on guys like Cole Anthony. They need a true point guard. I think Ryan Rollins is more of a 2 guard. I'm not saying Ryan Rollins can't be your future 2 guard. I'm saying he can, but I feel a lot more comfortable having maybe more of a true lead guard in Darius Akup Jr. to lead that team for the future. Potentially this time next year, Giannis might not be on this roster. 15, we're going to have Thomas Houck Jr. Now I know it's pronounced Houck, out of Florida. 15 feels high. He's putting up great numbers so far this season, obviously. But I don't know if I see I guess for the Boston Celtics, a team who's also trying to reload for the 2027 season, I don't mind this because he does do a lot of great stuff on the court. Great defensive player, can catch and shoot as well. So I guess I don't mind it in that case. But I think there's guys with really high ceilings that are on the board still, and I don't know if I want to take Thomas Houck at 15. At 16, it's going to be Baron Philon Jr. to the Raptors. This is probably going to be your Emmanuel Quickley replacement for the future. Not saying Quickley is a bad player, but your output from Quickley and your output from maybe year 2 or year 3 LeBaron Philon Jr. is going to be similar enough to a point where you're going to feel like you no longer have to pay Quickley that much money, and you might not even be a key piece to your team anymore. Philon at 16 is a good pick in my opinion. Tunde Yesufu to the Hornets at 17. I think we saw this in a Bleacher Report mock draft as well. I like this one for sure. I think they are still missing a defensive-minded, high-ceiling guard next to LaMelo Ball and Con Knipple for the future. I know you have Sion James, who has been good in his own right so far this season, but you can't make the argument that his ceiling is the same as Tunde Yesufu. Yesufu's three-point shot has struggled a little bit so far this season, but, we saw that from VJ Edgecombe in years past, or last year, in terms of his three-point shot coming right out of the season. And I think, honestly, when we talk about first games in college, I think Yesufu's had better production than VJ compared to last year. I don't know. But Yesufu at 17 feels like a steal for the Charlotte Hornets. 18 is Yaxel Lendeborg. He's a guy that was insane last year for Michigan, and his numbers, or insane last year for UAB, and his numbers this year not exactly the same. I think Michigan's sort of in a weird situation right now where they're winning, or they've won all their games so far this season, but it's been close games to not amazing teams. I think Lendeborg's output is going to exceed what he's doing right now by far. He's still going to be an 18-plus point per game score at the end of the season. Just not a great start. 18 to the Warriors, though. Again, I think I said the same thing about Thomas Houck at 15, but there's guys with higher ceilings that I think are just available that could be better for the Warriors, in my opinion. At 19, we're going to have Kingston Flemings to the Miami Heat. This is a pick I really love. Kingston Flemings has been one of the best freshmen in college basketball so far this season. He's been insanely efficient, too. Let's see if they say anything about that. He's made 79% of his two-point shots. 79 as a point guard. Great size, too, I think, at 6'5". Man, this guy's going to be a really good NBA player. I think he's going to boost up the boards even more. I have him as a lottery guy right now, in my opinion. This draft class is looking really good, though. 20, we have Bennett Sturts to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think this is okay. I sort of look at this as Rob Dillingham, we kind of give up on you, which honestly, maybe we're getting sort of around a point of time where we could start to say that. Dillingham has not looked good so far in his NBA career, but Sturts comes in right away. He's going to be older. I think he'll be 22 or 23 as a rookie next year. So you just get a little bit more veteran veteran, not leadership, but presence than what Rob Dillingham was going to be when he was a freshman or came out as a freshman out of Kentucky. I think Sturts would be a better player in the league right away. 20 to the Timberwolves is a team that still needs point guard play. I like this pick, honestly. 21 is going to be Heinz Steinbach to the San Antonio Spurs from Washington. Again, another freshman, has looked really good out of the gate for Washington. And I think the Spurs probably do still need long-term backup big minutes for Victor Wembanyama. They kind of have a short-term patch right now in Luke Cornett. But like I said, with the OKC Thunder, we want to really pay our core main guys, and what's probably going to end up being Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. And then we want to keep on getting younger and cheaper contracts for supportive players. And I think that's what Heinz Steinbach can be. 22 is Isaiah Evans to the Pistons. This is a really good pick. Duncan Robinson's not going to be your future shooter. And I think Isaiah Evans can be exactly that. Evans has been one of my favorite players. Hasn't shot the ball great so far for Duke this season, but I expect the numbers to improve. I still think Evans could be a near lottery guy because of his offensive output. But for a team who's trying to win games in the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Evans makes a lot of sense. 23 is going to be Dash Daniels to the OKC Thunder. Like Lopez, they're playing in the NBL. This is the second best league in the whole world. He's not going to put up crazy numbers. He just turned 18, I believe, coming out of actually G League Ignite versus Melbourne United. I think Dash Daniels' jump shot is better. Defensively, I would still give that to Dyson Daniels and probably playmaking as well. But honestly, offensively, compared to his brother, he's showing a little bit more signs of being a real offensive player coming into the league, which Dyson Daniels wasn't with the Pelicans, but maybe Dash Daniels can be for the Thunder. 24 is going to be Adey Mara to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I do like what I've seen from Adey Mara a lot so far this year from Michigan. I think the Dusty May system is really helping him. This is a team last year who boosted the draft stocks of Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden a lot. I think we're seeing a similar effect on Adey Mara. 25 are going to have Zubi Ejiofor to the LA Lakers. It still feels like there's some better players I would love for the Lakers, but you're not going to find a guy who has energy like Zubi Ejiofor in this draft class. Defensively, scoring inside, he's playing a lot better offensively so far this season. Great player. There's probably some guys I would still prefer for the Lakers. I don't doubt that Zubi Ejiofor is going to be a draft pick selection in this year's draft, though. Miles Bird at 26 to the Knicks. I sort of hate this. I'm not a big Miles Bird guy. I think for the Knicks, they're going to look to add guys who could play for them right away. And I don't know if Miles Bird is a guy that would play for them right away. There's better options. Don't love this pick a lot at all. 27, Malik Thomas. He's someone I expect to... I mean, man, he's been really good production-wise as a freshman out of Arkansas right away. But he's honestly someone I expected to maybe be a 2027 draft guy. But if he's going to put numbers like these, he's going to be a 2026 draft guy. But great prospect, insane shooter. I mean, his shot selection is also sort of insane, but his bucket getting is it's great. It's great, and it's going to be NBA level as well. I saw comparisons like Jordan Clarkson. I honestly do sort of like that, but maybe more as an off-the-ball shooter right away. This is a good pick for the Hawks. Someone that can be in the rotation right away and make tough shots. 28, we're going to have Alex Condon to the OKC Thunder. More big depth. Are we going to continue to pay Isaiah Hartenstein? Is he going to be out of our pay range? We'll see. Even if he is, or if he isn't, Alex Condon could be a good replacement. 29, we're going to have Joseph Tugler. Elite defender. One of the best defenders in the nation, if not the best defender in the nation. Nuggets need more help in that second unit, I guess, defensively, with Jonas Valanciunas at the 5. That's not an amazing defender. So Tugler gives them more security in the second unit. And last but not least, Dwayne Aristode to the Washington Wizards from Arizona. NBA body, for sure. NBA body. Hasn't put up great counting stats so far this year, but he's got an NBA body. He's one of the best defenders, I think, or maybe more of a 3-and-D guy for the future for this Thunder or for the Wizards team. But I don't know if he's a top 30 pick. They're saying he has a role like a Carter Bryant, who didn't put up great counting stats as a freshman, but the Spurs liked what they saw and took him at 14. I guess I can kind of see that for Dwayne Aristode. I mean, he's 6'8", 220. That's NBA body to a T. I like what they're saying about him here. It's interesting. Like Patrick Ngongba, I expect to be a first rounder. Cameron Carr has been great so far for Baylor this year. He should be a first rounder. Maybe even Braden Smith. Other than that, Carter Knox has a case. I don't know. Todd Pettiford has not been as good this year than expected. Alex Caravan, I think, is going to have a really productive year for UConn. He could be maybe a first rounder. Magoon Guath just got back from injury, and so far for SDSU, he's looked really good. I think he could be a first rounder. Anyone else, I would say, Braden Burris is kind of falling off the map a little bit. I think he might be a 2027 guy. But yeah, that's probably going to be about it. Solo Ball, I think, can be higher than 59 too. He's a guy that I could see have a real NBA role as a shooter. But yeah, that's going to be it for the first round of reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Go into the description, submit your video idea. And we are going to be back soon for my 2026 NBA Mock Draft 1.0. See you guys then. Peace.